internet. Welcome to another TADPOG podcast, a weekly show where two old guys talk about old games. I'm your bearded host, Tyler, and when I was young, like most kids, I played games during recess in elementary school.
Right.
There were two games that were extremely popular. We played those at least, every recess for a year, like an entire school year. I remember what year, but...
Around how old were you?
At elementary school, I had to be like third, fourth,
Okay.
maybe fifth grade.
Okay.
But most popular, Hook.
Playing Hook.
Hook was extraordinarily popular, and everyone had their characters that they would be. And I was Rufio. I died every single day in a dramatic screaming fashion, and then whoever was playing Peter Pan or one of the Lost Boys would run up and hug me, and I would have a dramatic death scene, and then go sit and watch the rest of the kids play because I was dead. The other Ninja Turtles.
Right.
So,
That's a good one.
most of the time we'd play typical Ninja Turtles. Like one kid would...
Except there were 8 of you.
Some people ended up being Foot or Baxter Stockman or...
Poor kids.
You're Foot Clan. But they would... Usually one kid pick like a theme or a boss or a sign. And there was one kid. Like he was a weird kid. Mm-hmm. He only liked playing like serious, dramatic Ninja Turtles. So
Really?
Like, one of us would...
Like Ninja Turtles Noir?
Yeah, essentially like... Usually he would leave one turtle out. That turtle had already died.
Oh,
and
my
he would
God.
designate one spot as their grave.
Oh,
and
my
you'd have
God.
to periodically go to that grave and like say a prayer or have like a sorrowful monologue, and you were out if you stepped on their grave. Like he would get legitimately angry if you stepped on that dead Ninja Turtle's grave.
Do you know this guy still? Can we get him on the show? He sounds awesome.
His name was Travis. That's all I remember.
All right, Travis, if you're listening, I want you to come on when we talk about Turtles in Time. I want that so
That would
bad.
be good.
I had something ready. I was going to talk about the chicken story, and I think you know what I'm talking about.
I do know the chicken story. I like the chicken story.
But I'm going to save it now because you brought up playground and recess, and what I immediately thought of, I probably spent every single recess from like kindergarten, first grade, and second grade. I think, and I found out later that this is pretty common. A lot of people did this. I would chase girls every day for recess, literally chase them. And I guess, I don't know what's up with that. Why did I do that?
Did you catch one?
No. No. And it's one of those things
That would have been
where-
a different matter had you caught one, then would have known what you would have done.
And even now, I don't know what the fuck I would have done as a 6-year-old kid catching a girl I've been chasing for 15 minutes. Like when they get tired and slow down, I would also slow down so as to not catch them.
You just enjoy the hunt.
Exactly. So that might not be as good as the chicken story, but that'll give you listeners something to look forward to, is hearing the chicken story.
Well, we can say the chicken story for if we do Super Alfred Chicken special bad game episode.
All right, so next bad game we'll do is Alfred Chicken. I'm your bespectacled host, by the way. I didn't throw that in there when I was talking about telling you the awful story about me chasing girls. It really, I'm thinking more and more about that. That's just not a funny or interesting fact.
It's funny if you know you, if you know how you are.
So that works out for one person in this room, but anyone listening, maybe not.
Well, now we just have to have speculation over what would happen if Dave had actually caught the girl.
That could be our contest.
You could be in juvenile hall. You could be.
Well, where would I be now? Where would I be today?
Where would you be now? Yeah.
Were you about to say when I've lost my virginity?
Virginity at a much, much younger age, in combination with going to juvenile hall.
Yeah. Well, besides talking about child pedophilia, what we do on this show,
Like I did last week with the chocolate pudding.
I don't think I like this running thing.
You don't like the pedophile running team?
I really don't think I'm
Tyler
down.
and Dave talk about pedophilia.
What we do on this show normally is we talk about the games that we play from IGN's Top 100 Super Nintendo games. What we do is we play them and we muse about our experiences here on this very show. This week we are talking about IGN's 86th ranked Super Nintendo game, Stunt Race FX. Usually this is where someone groans or, I don't know, it didn't happen naturally this time.
Yeah, I'm gonna reserve my opinion. Like listeners probably don't know how I feel about racing games.
They probably don't.
And so I'm gonna save my opinion about this game.
I think that's fair. Before we get into that, you want to talk about what we've been playing?
Yes.
You normally let me go first, so I'm going to let you go first.
I'll go first.
Because mine is not very interesting.
Oh, see, mine is probably less interesting because I have nothing new played this week. I'm going to Atlanta tomorrow to take my CrossFit certification for level 1. So I haven't played any games this week outside of playing Stunt Race FX. I'm not going to say how I played it, how long I played it, how much I enjoyed it.
So wait, I've talked to you briefly about what you're going to do in Atlanta, but level 1? What is this? This sounds like a game in its own right.
Because there's your level 1 certification, which is like your basic instructor level. There's level 2, which is a specialized trainer.
Level 3 is where you get to chase girls on the playground.
Level 3 is chasing. You can chase any girl anywhere in America, repercussion free.
It's fine.
It costs a lot of money though.
So, have you been playing anything at all? Besides
Stunt Race FX, I played a little 999 in between classes.
What's the music game you're playing on your phone? Really?
Okay, we talk about that. Song Pop.
Which you play the shit out of that game.
I've been playing. Typically,
so it deserves you to talk about.
Yeah, it's true. Typically, I save all song popping for the toilet.
Song popping.
I exclusively toilet song pop.
I don't always song pop, but when I do, I'm dropping a deuce.
Because it's a good, although I'll save it where I have so many responses to games, my knees will go numb and I'll have 2 huge red circles from my elbows being on my knees.
Fall over when you try to stand up. Yeah. I think any gamer worth his salt has been in that boat at least once.
But Song Pop it's a game where you get they play small clips of music from various genres.
Right.
And you try to identify them as quickly as you can. And you get a list of 4 different names they could be, and you pick which one, and you have to get so many successes, and you challenge other players to see. It's a competition per set of 5 different songs, tons of different genres.
I've watched you play, and for a guy who claims for years has claimed that he knows nothing about music, you do pretty well.
You should have seen me starting off. I only know most of these songs because I've played this game.
Yeah.
Outside of video games and US TV themes, which I rock out on.
Those are 2 categories?
Those are 2 different categories.
That's awesome.
But 80s, 90s alternative, I can do okay. But 80s collection, classic rock, gospel,
Cathedrals, dog.
No, not an option even once yet. If it was the Cathedrals or Promise.
Not Puff Daddy and the Cathedrals?
No. Damn. Or Promise, which was my dad's gospel quartet.
Oh, yeah.
They released a CD.
You should have saved that for an interesting fact.
We'll cut that. I'll come back to it.
I haven't been playing a whole lot either. I've been playing Far Cry 3 more. I'm not going to talk a lot about that because I already have. Dennis Robison, one of our great listeners, actually asked me today. Mm-hmm. We were talking last week.
One of our great listeners.
Yeah.
You let us stay at your house, you're automatically promoted to our greatest listener list.
You get one of those cards that we only give people who give us games. But he was asking me today, because he listened to the Sparkster episode, and he asked me, what the hell is crafting? Because I mentioned crafting for Far Cry 3, but never once. I just assume that everyone knows what crafting is.
We've brought it up a few times on different episodes. So,
and it's pretty simple in case you don't know. It's just the act of making something in a game. It's really just that broad. Yeah. It's usually like a weapon or armor.
You gather raw materials and then some kind of mechanic to bring it all together, be it like Final Fantasy XI,
fire
crystals, or in Fallout for survival, you have to have a campfire to make things in Fallout 3 and New Vegas.
That had to have originated in an RPG, right? Because I know it was wild, crazy in MMOs, but it had to have existed before that, right?
I'm trying to think of what the earliest game with an example of a crafting system.
Can we pose it as a challenge?
Yeah.
To the listeners. Listeners, what I want you to do is go to facebook.com/TADPOG and post in there what you think is the earliest game that had a crafting system in it. Because I'm curious to know.
Yeah, I can't.
And I honestly don't feel like I get good results Google searching that.
Yeah.
I can tell you one game that doesn't have a crafting system is Final Fantasy for the Nintendo.
Yep.
Because besides Far Cry 3, that's what I've been playing this week.
Stunt Race FX does also not have a crafting system.
No, it doesn't. No.
Sadly, does not have a crafting system.
Is that your smooth segue? You ready to start talking about the game?
Yeah.
All right.
I may as well go ahead and start shitting all over this game. There you go. Reveal.
You know what? Sadly enough, it's funny to say, but that's probably the longest we've actually waited to reveal.
Yep.
let me tell you a little bit about the game first, because I know some people think it's great when I talk about the game. For a little segment I like to call Dave Reads from Wikipedia.
Do you spend too much time just using Wikipedia? Don't do that. Let Dave read it to you.
Don't worry about it. Okay, guys. Stunt Race FX is a cartoon-style 3D, and that's a very important part, 3D racing video game that was developed by and published by Nintendo. It's important to note that Argonaut Software played a big part in helping develop this game, and that will become important later. But just so you know, it's a Nintendo game through and through. It was released in 1994, and most importantly, probably, is that it was the second game to use the 3D-centric Super FX chip, which...
I guess the first being Star Fox.
The first one was Star Fox. And let me just say, they picked the right game to debut the Super FX chip, I think.
Yes.
Because Star Fox was mind-blowing. Do you remember the first time you saw Star Fox? I remember, like, you know, people my parents' age talk about they remember exactly where they were when JFK was shot. I remember exactly where I was when I saw Star Fox for the first time and could not fucking believe what was on the television screen. I couldn't fucking believe it. Yeah, I didn't have that. I mean, maybe it's because I'm 31 now, but Stunt Race FX...
Look at what is on my TV.
I'm calling friends. You are not going to believe this.
You won't believe what is on this HD flat screen TV of mine. You won't believe the quality.
You are not going to believe what Nintendo did.
Yo, man, you remember Argonaut Software? Oh, shit, they did it again.
But that, I would have to do that because I never played this as a kid. And I know, like... I come across as having not played any fucking games as a kid because it seems like every game we talk about on TADPOG, I mention, I never played this as a kid.
Well, that'll get better as we get up. I don't think we just played a lot of bad games as kids. And well, I don't want to say some of these games aren't bad games. Some of them are bad games.
Some of them are bad games, like Sparkster. And if you haven't listened to our Sparkster episode, I'll link that in the show notes on tadpog.com.
Well, this game... Stunt Race FX, I'll go ahead and get something out front right now. It functioned.
Yeah.
So it's automatically better than Sparkster.
Yeah, I didn't run across any game-halting glitches.
Nope.
I never once had to reset the console, except for when I got... There were a few, and this might have been user error. I may be just used to streamlined UI now, but there were a few menu screens that I could not figure out how to get out of. But fortunately, this game has a soft reset. Unlike Shaq Fu. That's something I don't think we mentioned when we covered Shaq Fu.
Yep.
How infuriating it was to not have a soft reset.
Another rare negative for Shaq Fu.
Yeah, out of the blue. No LR select start. Something else that this game didn't have, it didn't have a game halting glitch. It also didn't have a story, which I feel like I need to bring up. It's a racing game. I know racing games don't typically have stories, but it's worth noting at least.
Well, this seems like it would because of like the cartooniness and like each car might have some kind of a background as to why they're there to bring it together.
In their character designs, they're designed so that it looks like they have a personality. And that's I know that's one of the things that people tout about this game is that these cars, you know, their headlights are eyes and their bumpers are smiles or whatever. And I'm surprised with that. There's no like bio or anything for each car. Maybe in the instruction manual that we don't have.
I mean, you think if Pixar sued Uniracers that they would also be suing Nintendo and Argonaut Software because this has to do with the cars. You know, is Coupe really Steve McQueen with a different paint job? I don't know. So. I don't know.
I think, but here's the funny thing. Is
it Steve McQueen? That's some kind of a musician, right? Is it Lightning McQueen? I've never even seen Cars.
Phil is probably throwing up right now. Steve McQueen, I believe, is an actor.
Actor, okay.
A pretty famous one.
He's a musician.
I say he's pretty famous, but I'm saying I can't answer you with certainty.
He did that Stomp Stomp Champion song, right? McQueen? Yeah,
I think so. This game actually came out before Cars. So, nice guy Nintendo doesn't sue Pixar, but Pixar sues DMA Designs for Uniracers for quote-unquote ripping off their anthropomorphic unicycle from their 5-minute short film.
So you can go back and listen to our glowing Uniracers episode.
Yeah, or don't. If you're a fan of Uniracers, normally I would really plug our shows and
Yeah.
promote them. But if you're a fan of Uniracers, maybe don't listen to it.
Yeah, we don't want more death threats
Because
from
exactly,
Uniracer fans.
we apologize. We are going to conform to your terroristic demands and not talk shit about Uniracers anymore because you Uniracer fans are scary.
All right, well, Stunt Race FX. All right, I thought it was pretty difficult. I thought it was a challenging racing game. So it has like this kid cartoony look, but a challenging adult kind of racing challenge. So I don't know what the target demographic is here. Just like
I think it was kids.
kids at heart.
Yeah, kids at heart is probably good. I think it's pretty safe to assume that most games that came out in the 90s were probably targeted for children. I think as we grew up, I think the developers are like, hey, everyone who plays video games is getting older, so maybe we should mature them up a little bit.
That's true.
But I didn't think this game was that hard.
You're also better. I'm also just awful at racing games.
You're pretty bad at racing games.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
You're
no,
pretty
I'm
bad
real
at
bad.
racing games.
Driving in a circle, can't do it. Cannot do it.
There's more to it than that. not like I'm defending NASCAR or anything. That is straight up driving in a circle. But racing video games is much more difficult.
What's that? What's the race they do in France? Like the crazy through corners and mountains. It's somewhat dangerous.
F1?
Is it F1
racing?
Formula One racing? Yeah. Okay. I'm
maybe.
awful at Formula One racing. Maybe.
Oh, I guarantee you I'm awful at Formula One. Like, if I were to get in one of those cars, it'd probably just fall over and catch on fire immediately. Overall, I thought it wasn't that difficult, but it was difficult for me to tell what the fuck was going on. Did you have that
triangles
problem?
everywhere.
Right. The 100 or so polygons that could be on the screen at once were confusing. It's actually one of my true complaints about the game is that while it's impressive that this was done on a Super Nintendo and it looks 3D, kind of like Star Fox, it's really not presented in the same clean fashion that Star Fox was. Everything seems kind of cluttered. And that becomes a really big problem when you're trying to win a race and you can't tell what is the course and what is not the course. Do you know what I mean? Like there are several curves where there's an ice level, for instance, or a snow course. And there is a part in the game where the sky drop is kind of orange. And then you're going forward. This may have been designed this way specifically to fuck with people. You're going on the straightaway and it does like this 90-degree angle to the right. Well, the problem is you don't know it does a 90-degree angle because you're riding towards a cliff, which is pretty much the same color as the sky.
Oh, God.
So the first time I played through this, I don't know what the hell's going on. My car all of a sudden just goes into exploded view as I realized that, the course took a turn to the right.
Because when I was playing it, the courses, to me, it was just like Andros from Star Wars. He ate a whole bunch of rainbows and then just vomited triangles. And it just, out of this rainbow vomit came Stunt Race FX. Because Star Wars, I feel like it was a lot of grays. The color came from the lasers and the weapons. Star Fox. What did I say?
Star Wars. Twice.
Whatever that is.
I know. You're talking about this motherfucking movie like you know it. I hope you've gone your entire life. That could be the next intro. You confession bear that you've gone your entire life thinking Star Fox was Star Wars.
Well, we got Earthbound Jim and the Star Wars Fox just cruising around.
Who knows? That might be J.J. Abrams' angle for the new movies. But anyway, I'm sorry.
But Andros from Star Fox, so I'm glad you said something. Yeah, it just, whereas Star Fox, the color palette felt like it was more in the weapons, and then here, the color's just everywhere.
Yeah.
They're trying to make it bright and cartoony, and it's just...
Right.
If the cars didn't have eyes, this game could have just been called Seizure Derby. And wipe your hands off, you're done.
Can we get some cover art for Seizure Derby, please? Lord Mike of Purdue, I'm looking at you. Actually, I think it's interesting you mentioned like the lasers and everything in Star Fox kind of standing out. This is why I think Star Fox uses this FX chip better. Is because they didn't try to do everything with it like Stunt Race FX did. Star Fox, those lasers and the weapons are actually just regular like 2D bitmaps that are stretched. but they blend seamlessly in with the rest of the 3D polygonal art. And I think that's one of the best things about, I know we're not talking about Star Fox, but one of the best things about Star Fox is how they mesh 2D and 3D pretty much seamlessly. It's like you can't even tell what's true, quote unquote, true 3D and what's not.
So yeah, I think it's important that we talk plenty about Star Fox, because it's like Stunt Race FX just tried to like, what everybody like about Star Fox, let's just do that as a racing game. Like they just tried to pull what people like from it. They tried to be groundbreaking with stuff that had already been done better in the past. And
I don't want to shit on this game too much because I actually enjoyed playing it. Honestly, I wouldn't go back and play it again. And I feel like I'm saying this too early in the show, but fuck it. I wouldn't go back and play it again, but I did enjoy it. But I don't know why it's on the list, because Star Fox uses the same technology and it is infinitely better game. Like it uses that technology so much better.
Yeah.
It just seems like this game, which look, after all the shit we got for giving Uniracers it's due. I really did my research to see, are there like diehard Stunt Race FX fans on anywhere on the internet? There probably are. I just haven't found you yet, but there's not a whole lot of people online talking about Stunt Race FX.
I remember I went to Amazon, looked at the Amazon reviews, and people admittedly said, big nostalgia factor for me. Played this when I was young. And then there were also just as many 1-star reviews like, shouldn't have gone back, shouldn't have bought this again, wish I didn't play it.
Does not withstand the test of time.
Yep.
I know we've talked a lot about Star Fox and the FX chip and all that. I did a little bit of research. It comes across as I know a lot about the stuff that we talk about. The truth is I don't. I just do a lot of research. It's like me in high school. I just do a lot of studying right before the test being when we record the show, and then after the test, I just forget everything. So I did some research before we recorded about the Super FX chip, and that's really where Argonaut comes in, is because they're the ones who developed the chip. And there's some interesting trivia about it that I think you'll think is cool.
Okay.
For instance, they actually use this chip in 2D games as well to enhance the 2D. I know you're a big fan of Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island.
Very much.
They used the FX chip quite a bit in that game.
They did a lot better in that game too
than they did in Stunt Race FX.
That game is beautiful.
Well, they used it to create deep backgrounds, because a lot of the backdrops are actually 5 or 6 layers on top of one another. And they also used it to create the giant bosses. So they don't look like the giant bosses in Super Turrican 2. Do you remember how they look in Super Turrican 2? They're sprites. Essentially what they did in Super Turrican 2 is they took regular sprites and just made them big. So the bigger you make them, the blockier they get.
And they look awful.
Right. But in Yoshi's Island, they used the FX technology to scale them smoothly. I also thought it was interesting that this technology was created, but Super Nintendo, Nintendo only used it in about 8 Super Nintendo games. And to think that one of those was Stunt Race FX is a little disappointing.
Because I feel like there's always, while it might not get a lot of reception at first, I feel like there's certain examples where the art style, where they might go a little more cartoony.
Yeah.
But in doing that, it kind of becomes timeless. Like it looks good and interesting no matter which point you play it in your life. Yeah. Yoshi's Island being one of those games. I still think that looks so good and cool and smooth, artistic.
Yeah.
Like Wind Waker being another one. But like Stunt Race FX, like I see where they tried to do like this breakthrough 3D, and just there's no way this is standing up. It is not a good art style,
right?
No matter which way you look at it.
I
guess unless you close your eyes, like that smells pretty good.
No, actually, because the sound isn't that great either. That's on my list to talk about. Yeah. Is there music when you race? I can't even remember. Like that's how non-memorable the music in this game is. There's the title screen music, which usually I like key in the game music, you know, and like while I'm playing, I'm humming and making up lyrics to the songs and stuff like that. But I honestly couldn't even hum you a little bit of the music, which is really rare in a Nintendo-made game.
Yeah.
I think you're right, man. I think the art style, not just the art style, I think the creative direction of this game was kind of off. It doesn't feel like a Nintendo game.
Because really, if it wasn't, I mean, I suppose like you slap googly eyes on anything and it becomes a little bit better.
Right.
Like I feel like they just took a mediocre to bad themed racing game and tried to cutesy it up, tried to throw a lot of bells and whistles on it, and it just didn't work. Like I sat down this game, and I promise you, listener, I didn't just like automatically dismiss it. Like I hate racing games, so this is gonna suck. I went into it with at least 40% of an open mind.
Probably more than that. Give yourself
maybe
some
more than
credit.
that.
Because I know you. I know you love games, and even though it's a racing game, I know you're going to give it a fair shot.
But I at no point did I have fun with this.
Really?
Like from the very start. Well, one, a problem I have with Top Gear 2 is a problem I have with this, and I guess it's a shitty gripe for me to have because it makes sense. But I hate the damage mechanic.
Oh, okay.
In racing games, I hate it.
I'm glad you bring that up because I want to talk a little bit about the damage mechanic because it's different in Stunt Race FX. But before we do that, why do you hate the damage mechanic?
Oh man, I guess I'm not good at racing games, and I always bump into other cars, do something with the course, and then it makes me not enjoy it. Like I have a harder time sort of phasing into it because I'll give any game, no matter how good it is, I have like an hour or two adjustment to where I'm still in the mood and the timing of the last game that I played. So I don't enjoy the first hour or two of the next game I played because I'm not on that game yet.
So it's not necessarily a learning curve, it's an enjoyment curve.
Right. And it's just that damage mechanic just immediately takes away how much I can get involved into it because it just becomes another thing I have to worry about. I mean, I understand why it's there. It makes sense for it to be there. I just wish you could turn it on and off.
I understand, although I think it's important to this game because I think one of the most interesting things about Stunt Race FX as a racing game is how it handles damage. And I think this is one of my favorite things about the game is the way that the damage mechanic works is you race like you normally do. And like you said, as you bump into things, you take damage and it shows up on a damage meter. But it's interesting to note that when you bump into something, your car goes into exploded view. Like it doesn't explode like in a Michael Bay movie, but it goes into an exploded view like an industrial diagram. And I think that's cool. But on top of that, the car then reassembles itself. And how long it takes to reassemble the car is determined by how much your damage meter is filled. Mm-hmm. So I think that's really, really cool because I've never seen a racing game do that before, where the amount of time it takes for you to get back on the road and driving is equal to the amount of damage you've taken. It's usually like in Top Gear 2, where, okay, you've taken X amount of damage, so your car is going to go slower now. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was kind of a cool, interesting take on that.
No, it makes sense. Like it's just me being butthurt about it that I can complain about it.
No. I mean, I'm not saying that. I don't think that's true. I mean, I think you've got a right to. If you don't like a damage mechanic, you just don't like it.
I just think of it like bowling. Like when you see like some poor person with no arm strength just getting gutter ball after gutter ball after gutter ball, just put up the bumpers. I'll play with the bumpers, have a better time until you get better at it. You can turn it on and off. Take the bumpers down, put the bumpers back up. Full bumpers.
We kind of brought up Top Gear. I have a confession to make. I like Top Gear 2 better than this game.
It's a draw. It's a draw for me between the two. But
I have another confession.
Okay.
You sure you want to hear it?
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous. I don't know how you're going to take it.
I promise I won't be mad. I promise I won't be mad. Just tell me.
I like the Uniracers better than this.
Damn it, Dave!
I learned it from watching you.
Uniracers was far more unique. It wasn't just driving around in some geometric shape with obstacles and stuff in your way. It had more creativity behind it. So I can see where I think Uniracers should be higher than Top Gear 2 and this.
I agree. Honestly, I think from the racing games we've played, I think Stunt Race FX should be at the bottom. It should be nearer 100. And then there should be Uniracers and Top Gear 2 kind of close to one another.
And Sparks are not even on the list.
Yeah, we covered that. Yeah. Sparks should not be on the list. I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't love Uniracers or Top Gear 2. I know I liked both of them better than you, but I would go back and play Uniracers, and I would go back and play Top Gear 2. I would never go back and play Stunt Race FX. Unless I had someone over and I was like, hey, you want to see this game that's kind of shitty? Look what they're doing. Look at my screen. Look what they're doing. Can you believe it?
Do you like Star Fox? You want to ruin it for yourself? No, sit down. Sit down.
Oh man, you nailed it. Like, that's what we should name the episode. You like Star Fox? Want to ruin it for yourself? Because I did you feel that way? I literally felt that way.
It was like it was kind of a disgrace to what Star Fox built.
Yeah, it's like it tarnished Star Fox somehow.
So yeah,
I don't know. Maybe that's a hipster attitude to take with it.
the only thing other than I suppose the triangle, the amount of triangles trying to make this game look cool.
The amount of triangles in this game are too damn high.
I guess the lift mechanic, where you could raise yourself up, that's the only kind of variation. At least Top Gear 2 had a little more customization you could do.
Right.
This game, just you could go up, you can go down.
Yeah, well, that's useful.
And that was nice, but too little too late.
It's really useful in, we haven't even talked about the different modes that this game has. It really truly has 3 different modes. There's a mode called Speed Tracks, and that's single player racing. There's a mode called Stunt Tracks, and that is essentially you going on an obstacle course, collecting stars. And then there's a mode called Battle Tracks, and that's 2-player racing. You use that lift mechanic a lot in Stunt Tracks, which is nothing like it sounds. I was really worried when I saw that mode because I was like, oh, it's going to be like the levels of Uniracer that I hate.
Where the GameFAQs guy was just like, just do tricks till you do it.
Good luck. It's hard. Good luck. Thanks, GameFAQs. No, it's a little misleading because it's more of like an obstacle course where you go over like bumps and ramps and stuff like that. And the lift mechanic becomes a jump mechanic when you tie it into boosting and a ramp.
Oh,
because
okay.
if you lift right at the end, you'll jump and you'll go far.
If you couldn't tell, Dave had a lot more patience playing this game than I did. I'm like, oh, that happened in the game? That's awesome.
That's because...
Actually, that's not awesome. No, that happened. That's how I should say it.
As much as I've shit on this game, like I said earlier, and I wasn't lying, I did enjoy the time that I spent with it. The time that I put in is all the time I'm going to put in. And I liked it just for the unique racing elements that it had. And generally, and I've said this before, I like arcadey racing games. And this is definitely not a simulation racing game. I hate simulation racing games. I'm sorry, man. If you're playing a simulation racing game, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm sorry. Ugh. Ugh.
What was a post I saw on Reddit? Like the driving simulator that they had that was as much as like 3 Honda Civics. Like you could either buy a Honda Civic or... I guess that happens in real life too, like how I felt about playing Cooking Mama. Well, you can cut up vegetables and make a soup. I can go in my kitchen right now and do that too, and then have food afterward.
But see, that's a little different because it plays it up as a video game. Because Cooking Mama is like very kind of arcade style, and like it's got like this anime look and all that, which makes it appealing. Like games like Gran Torino, as we like to call it around here. Like it's just a sim. It's like very realistic, and I don't get into that. I know some people do. Those people are probably not going to like Stunt Race FX either, to pull us back into what we're actually talking about. Yeah. Kind of went on a tangent.
Like now you saying that, kind of, I can see where people would like this, and then they like simulation racing games. It's hard to convey your love to someone else who isn't interested.
It's true.
Because like trying to tell like you about Doctor Who, I get so excited, but it's hard to translate what I like about Doctor Who and my love for Doctor Who to you to something that you'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's
a little different because I hear from everybody, what do you mean you haven't watched Doctor Who? It's great. I know you would love it. I don't think anyone's ever said that about simulation racing games.
Well, I remember
hey man, I know you like sinking about 12 hours a day, and you like to imagine spending imaginary money on real products, so you're probably going to like this game a lot.
Like I remember our friend Brandon, who introduced Dave and I back in college.
Brandex.
Trying to tell Brandon about why I liked RPGs.
Yeah.
It's like, why do you like RPGs? Well, it's like you get to play it, you spend so many hours on it, trying to convey everything that I loved about Final Fantasy VI and Earthbound to him. And he's like, is there like a slot in your Super Nintendo that pops open and you get money afterward? No, you give them money so you can. You just can't. It's hard. Love doesn't translate the way it should.
And I think it's funny that you specifically use RPG as an example because it pretty much, you could substitute what I just said for what I just said about simulation racing games. You could substitute RPG for that and it would work just the same.
Yeah.
You mean you just want to spend 12 hours and spend imaginary money? Wait a minute.
So yeah, you love what you love. If you love Stunt Race FX, good, great. I'm glad you had a good time.
I told you you're open-minded.
Yeah, I'm open-minded. I'm pretty liberal. It's fine, let's go with it. But I see why people might have made a big deal about this, like at least seeing it in commercials and hearing about it. Mm-hmm. But then, I don't think it worked. It was better in theory than in practice.
Yeah.
I guess it's probably only on it and this high because somebody felt it broke through some barriers, made use of new technology, and they had a good nostalgia feeling about it.
Yeah, you're probably right. Going back to the art direction and the cartoony cars, that I know IGN specifically says that's one of the reasons they put it on their list is because the cars have personality.
Cars have eyes.
I know. I don't buy that. And honestly, I think this game has a spot on the list, but it's at the bottom.
Maybe if the cars like had a story detailing why they were in this race, like if it's a race for some kind of like antidote, I don't know.
So you were showing
if they're people transformed into cars and then they each have a background about why they're having to race. Let's do that. That's giving it personality.
Right.
And then
like what was the show? I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, the kid who turned into a car.
Right.
If this was that,
one of our great listeners took the time to find that. Two listeners took the time.
Link found it, but I can't remember what it was.
And I can't even remember what the fuck it was called.
Nope.
That's how much we care. TADPOG cares.
Well, I guess seeing as much how we didn't like this game, I guess maybe it's kind of a blessing that it was pretty minimal in that you only get
Turbo Teen.
Turbo Teen, thank you.
Okay, sorry, I'll listen to you now.
we were making eye contact. I can see the Microsoft loading in your
Clippy pops up. I see you're trying to remember the name of a obscure 80s cartoon. Would you like some help?
But you only get 3 cars. You can unlock a 4th one.
Right.
But only after you like beat the whole game in master mode.
Right. Which I did not do.
And obviously I didn't do. And there are only like 7 or 8 tracks, 3 cars.
Yeah, there's 4 regular tracks per difficulty, and there are like 3 default difficulties. So there's really 12 tracks, and each difficulty has a bonus track. So there's like 15 tracks. There's not many.
I guess my problem was just 3 cars that are all vastly different. So there's no like middle. They could have done more of a middle ground or very specialization, kind of obscure cars, but just 3 for people who start, people who played it a few times, and advanced players. That's it.
Well, there's the coupe, there's the F1 car, and then there's the 4-wheel drive, the monster truck, which I expected to be more badass than he was.
Well, that's the beginner car, so they didn't want to make him too good.
Yeah.
Well, in like the trailer for the game, you could be a semi.
Yeah, the semi's in the game, but it's only in bonus levels. It's really weird because you'll go through 2 tracks, 2 regular courses, and then there'll be a bonus level where you see your car just kind of get inside a semi, which is really, really off-putting considering that the cars are anthropomorphic. So like the whole time I'm wondering, is the semi okay with this? Like, there's no kind of like consent or anything.
Semi's asleep, and all of a sudden just wham!
Yeah, he's just sleeping with his back door open, and then the coupe just kind of eases, and it's like really creepy because like it drives real slow up in there, and then the semi slowly closes its door, and then I guess the coupe is now driving the semi. I don't know how that works, but yeah, you go around this little course and you try to win yourself an extra life. It gave me weird feels. And by that I mean I had the strangest erection. Just the strangest. Ugh, I don't know. I think I need help.
I bet you there weren't many people who are Stunt Race FX fans that feel differently.
There's only two things I could do to get it to go down, and that is chase a girl on a playground or express how I feel about the simulation racing game. It's strictly one of those two. Yeah, the only other vehicle I can think of is the two-wheeler, which I didn't unlock.
Yeah, I don't even really understand how that works. I remember there being, I mean, it's not a motorcycle to my understanding.
Right. People are that's one thing I found online, is do not call it a motorcycle or you will be excommunicated to Elba. So I didn't unlock it. You didn't unlock it. So we'll just say it's called the two-wheel drive.
It's out there.
Okay. If you feel like going against our very sound advice, you can go ahead and play this game and try to unlock it yourself.
Mm-hmm. I just think about the three-wheeled car that they did on the British Top Gear.
Oh, yeah?
That he couldn't drive it around without, if you make a sharp turn, it would roll. Because one back wheel, two front wheels, and like he had to put training wheels on it in order to make turns. So I imagine something like that.
You saying the British Top Gear made me think that since the American version came out after it, that should be Top Gear 2.
You are correct,
explains
sir.
Why it is not as good as the British version. So you didn't enjoy this game?
No, I did not.
I think that's apparent. I enjoyed, like I said before, I enjoyed playing it, but not enough to call it a good game, and not enough to ever play it again.
I did think up 2 achievements for it, though.
Okay, good. I haven't come up with mine. You know, I like to come up with them on the spot. So,
all right, I'll do mine.
Please, what are yours?
My first one is Tokyo Drifter.
Okay.
So that is where you take no damage, but retain your max speed for 50% of the race.
Okay.
So you're just using the LNR drift mechanic at top speed to make it through the whole race without taking any damage.
Mario Kart Game Boy Advance style.
And then the second one being WT2WF.
Okay.
What the two-wheeled fuck?
Oh, I like the name of that one.
So unlock the two-wheeler and completely free play. And you have to beat it on every difficulty. And you get to unlock the two-wheel car to play just as you want. When you first unlock it, you can only play it on special stages. But then the more you play it, unlock it for free play the whole game. WT2WF.
All right, I like that. I think that's probably my favorite name that you've come up with so far. I haven't been able to come up with anything good while you've been talking. I've got one called, All right, I got 2.
All right.
The first one's called Speed. It's a very bad name. It's a very, very, very bad name. But you will get it. And this achievement is you have to win a race without going over 55 miles per hour.
Okay, that's good.
That was a speed limit in Speed, right?
I think it was 50 or 51.
Whatever the speed limit was in the movie Speed, in which I first remember falling in love with Sandra Bullock, then that's the speed limit you have to win the race on. By the way, this achievement's impossible. You can't do it.
See, I'm more of a hope floats kind of man when it comes to Sandra Bullock.
Man, fuck some hope floats.
Or a practical magic.
Okay. All right.
My wife loves romantic comedies.
How about 28 Days?
I haven't seen that one.
I guess I can come up with another one. I'm just kind of spitballing here, but this game features a quote-unquote shark tunnel. One of the courses on the novice tracks part of it is underground in a glass tunnel. So I'm going to call it Jaws 3D because, as you all know, there's a shark tunnel in Jaws 3. Do you like how I'm tying these in with movies?
It's good.
I'm doing this just for Phil because I know he listens. And I know he's probably screaming at his whatever lovely device he listens to because I'm fucking all of these. It's like, so it's something with a shark in a tunnel. Here you go. Here you go. Here's what happens.
Improvisation.
Not very good at it. Here's what happens. You're in the shark tunnel, right? And to get the achievement, what you have to do is, it's called Jaws 3D. You have to be the monster truck. Because Jaws is a monster. Get it? That's pretty good.
Okay.
That's pretty good. And you have to destroy another car while you're in the tunnel.
Okay. All right.
Not very good, I know.
I can see that. It's like a bronze trophy for the PS3.
Not my best set of achievements, but I will strive to do better next show.
Well, better game gets better achievements.
I like that. We haven't done this in a long time, so I'm sure you're not expecting it. And I like to keep you on your toes. I want to do a Where Are They Now?
All right.
And I want to do it for Argonaut Games, the company that developed the Super FX chip.
Okay, you're going to be sad because I know this.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Tyler?
Yes, Dave.
No, see, we fucked it up because I used my I'm asking you for Beard's voice. And you used your I'm about to give you a Beard voice.
Sup, Dave?
There we go. Tyler.
Oh, yes. I am listening to you.
That is clearly the Where Are They Now prompt. Argonaut Games. Where are they now?
Well, Argonaut Games, they were, of course, descendants of the people who helped Jason get the Golden Fleece.
Okay.
So Argonaut Games was in, they were located in Greece, and the Greek economy, it collapsed. So that caused Argonaut Games to, they had to liquidate to pay back Germany and help strengthen the euro.
Okay. And let's not even bring up the Bitcoin.
Yep, let's not.
So when did they liquidate?
I want to say, when was the big crisis? Like 2011?
Okay.
Late 2011? Late 2011. Yeah, late 2011, early 2012.
Well, you are right, kind of. They are defunct. They actually sold in late, you had the late part right, October 2004.
Okay.
Can I tell you a few things about them?
Please.
You're going to find this very interesting. I want to tell you who Argonaut started developing chips for, okay? So they knock it out the park with the Super FX chip for Super Nintendo. So they go on to develop chips for the Philips Green Piece,
Never heard of that.
the Apple Veggie Magic,
That sounds like a kid's product. Okay.
and the Hasbro Matriarch.
That sounds like a weird version, like a child's version of an Asari matron from Mass Effect.
So it seems like you haven't heard about any of these.
Nope.
That's because none of them fucking came out ever. So if you're curious what happened to Argonaut, well, they developed some hardware for consoles that were never fucking made. I guess that will probably tank your hardware development company.
A little bit.
I'm surprised you last till 2004.
Man, poor guys. Poor Argonaut Games.
Okay, now I'm going to use the Beards and Glasses voice.
Love it.
Tyler.
Yes, Dave.
I have a very important question for you that everyone out there, they've tuned in and they want to hear this. And as soon as they do, they're going to turn the show off. So we have to drag it out as long as possible.
It's true.
Just make it miserable for them. Because that's what we're all about.
That's what we do.
Right.
That's what Nintendo and Argonaut Games is all about.
It is. If you had to pick the beard for Stunt Race FX, what beard would that be?
Are you familiar with Virtua Fighter?
Yes, naturally.
So I would give this 2 blonde, polygonal Gen Virtua Fighter beards.
Okay.
They're just blocky and awful.
Right.
Kind of blend in with the face and the neck.
Right.
They don't look like beards. They look like duck bills.
Okay. I like that very much. How do you think you would shave one of those?
You have to hit something really hard so it explodes, but then you have to move your face before the beard
Really
reassembles
fast,
onto your
quickly
face.
move your face before. So it still reassembles. It just doesn't do so on your face.
Yeah, the beard will reassemble and drop to the ground
Right.
if your face moves.
I like that. Now, the natural companion, we've gone over this over and over again. The natural companion to the beard, of course, is the rare and elusive glasses. I'm thinking that I would like to hear what kind of glasses you would give this game. Can you help me?
I can.
I need it.
I can.
Okay.
I can certainly help you with this. Do you recall the game Sparkster we talked about last week?
No.
And the glasses I gave it
We
was...
talked about it?
We tried a little bit what there was to say about it.
Is that the windshield, yes?
Yes, the cracked, bloody possum windshield
Right.
from Sparkster.
Cracked, bloody possum windshield.
It's that windshield, but it's made from triangles and it has googly eyes.
It's made from Steve McQueen.
It's made from Steve McQueen.
My apologies to the McQueen family.
So a cracked, bloody, possum-streaked, polygonal windshield with googly eyes.
I like how you've done a crossover.
Yeah.
I like that. It's like worlds are colliding, literally. Do you like that?
Literally.
Yeah. Do you see what I did
true.
there?
It's true. It's absolutely true.
Tyler, do you see what I did there? They're
Literally.
colliding. Tyler, they're colliding.
It's like the car from Stunt Race FX. Put the lift button, hit
And
Sparkster.
hit Sparkster. That was good.
That's what we're doing there.
That's what. Yeah. Well, you know, that's you gotta give listeners what they want.
Yeah, clearly they want the Coop from Stunt Race FX and Sparkster just to die in a big suicide pact.
And hopefully we can tie it into the next game, and then it can be like I don't know, double suicide murder.
That's true. Yeah, Venom and Spider-Man shoot their webbing and they blind the driver. That's why it all happens.
You know, sometimes we have people to thank. I don't know if we do. We've
got a few people to
do
thank.
people still like us?
Mm-hmm. A few.
Even after we turned on Sparkster?
A few people, yeah. Yeah, a few.
Okay.
Not very many diehard Sparkster fans out there. No. I think we'd only talked to one person who was like, yeah, I remember that game so well. So for Facebook shares, we want to thank Matt Barger, Mega Elixir, Megahan Holland. I don't know who that is.
Some dog petter.
Ramon Fragico Castillo III, Kevin Link, Lord Mike of Purdue, and Jess Dockery at Silk Street Post.
Yes. Thank you all very much. We appreciate it. You spreading the word about spreading the TADPOG gospel.
And then for retweets, Laura Ammons.
Thanks, Laura. You're pretty much you and Jacob are our tweet warriors.
And then we have a new 5-star review.
We do?
We do. From The Last Gamer 69.
Yeah.
So thank you for your 5-star review.
Do you think he's claiming to be the last gamer to be in a 69 or?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Or the last born gamer in 1969.
I like that. I like that.
And then I guess we should also thank all our unknown 5-star reviewers. Because we have plenty of, they click 5 stars, they don't write a review.
Right. Yeah, and when you do that, we have no way of knowing who you are. So we'll just go ahead and say blanket thank you, you think?
Yeah. Blanket thanks.
Blanket thanks.
Feedback. Thanks for your feedback from the great listener, Dennis Robinson, the great gifter, Matt Barger, and the great watcher of movies, Phil DeBall.
So you brought up gifts. Did we get any gifts this week?
None this week.
What?
None this week.
What?
Just a gift of praise.
I guess that's okay.
It's okay.
That's all right, I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't go on our game collection shows.
No.
Or the more Steam games we like to look at. Dedicated likes, Joanne Livingston and Joshua Edwards, always on top of approving everything we do on Facebook. And then a new column, Eerily Silent.
Yeah?
From people that, like, we just want to know you're still out there. People who have just gone eerily silent.
Okay.
Blake Woods.
Yeah.
Nothing from that guy.
Do you feel like he recorded a show with us? He feels like he got what he wanted out of the show, and
he used us, got what he wanted, and moved on.
Shit and got the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Who else is in this column?
That's all I got so far.
Oh, okay. You just want to give Blake shit. I understand.
Yeah. That's what he's there for. He's number one heel.
Well, hey, I tell you what, Blake. Here's what you can do. We're doing something new on the show, and what the hell? I'll open it up to everybody. What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah,
Should we open it up to everybody?
We don't give something just to Blake. Gotta open it to everybody.
Okay. But Blake, the ball is in your court. I'm serious. You should please be the first one to call us. What we've done is we've set up a phone number where our listeners can call in. You can be drunk. That's fine. I'm not saying you have to be drunk.
I'd prefer it, actually.
You don't have to be, but let's just say it might gain you more Tadpog favor.
Give us your best drunk uncle from Saturday Night Live.
Now you know people are actually going to do that.
That's fine. I'm all for it.
But what we want you to do is, if you want to, give us a call. We've got a voicemail set up at area code 270-883-2555. Call us and say whatever the fuck you want, and we may play it on the show.
Yeah, rant, rave, review about games, talk about how bad your day's been.
Yeah. Are you a big Steve McQueen fan? Give us a call.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Make a deep and dark confession. Fine, do it.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Did you actually catch a girl on the playground? Call me. I want to know what happens.
No matter how dark it is, you tell us.
No matter how, that's exact. My mind went there because you said deep and dark, and it just
click.
It just woke something up inside of me. I don't know. I have to cut that, or the fucking feds are gonna come get me.
Yep, I agree. We've talked too much about. We could cut most pedophilia references.
And we talk about the woodsy pedophile and Double Dragon. So that's like we got to be on like a 3 strikes you're out kind of situation here. let's just go on the record and say that we're not pedophiles.
And we're against pedophilia.
And we don't own panel vans. Neither of us.
Although we do, they will be strictly for converting into turtle vans.
Yes, for party wagons. I'll tell you what.
Bang buses and and turtle vans.
All right. That's good. Well, first thing we want to do is work on the bang bus. Agreed?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Second thing, party wagon. Mm-hmm. Third thing, I'm thinking pizza thrower.
Yep.
I'm thinking pizza throwers, really, really close there.
It's got to happen. Thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on iTunes or Stitcher so you don't miss next episode. We'll be talking about Spider-Man and Venom, Maximum Carnage.
What?
While you're there, don't forget to subscribe, give the show a 5-star rating, write a review.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that. Don't worry, guys. I know you're scared. Tyler makes it home from Atlanta. We'll be back next week.
If not, you got to find another host with a T in their name.
Don't worry. I've got a plan B, Tyler. Just waiting in the wings. Every week I get a text. Is he going yet?
Damn it, Tamara, you'll get your chance.
Be patient.
Damn it, Tia and Tamara, you the sisters from Sister Sister, you will get your chance to host this show.
They would be lucky to get on TADPOG, sir. They would be lucky.
They would like the work.
And not just involving the Bang Bros.
Or their brother Taj. Any of the Maori siblings can come on and host TADPOG.
In fact, fuck it. You can just let them do it themselves, huh? That'd be it. Was there a sister? Well, there had to have been like a sister video game. You know there has to be one out there.
I'm going to look for one as soon as this is over.
All right.
If not, we'll make one an RPG maker. The Sister RPG.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So it's the Captain Ron meets Sister RPG. You choose your faction. So if Tyler comes back from Atlanta, we will be back next week. In the meantime, if you can't get enough TADPOG, what you can do is go to tadpog.com. That's where we keep the show notes and kind of dick around there. But you can also go to facebook.com/tadpog. And that's our Facebook page that more people are joining every day. Thank goodness, because it's the only thing that keeps the gun out of my mouth, honestly. I want to get real for a minute. Every time we get a like on Facebook, I look at the gun and I say, not today.
You keep talking shit about simulator racers, and you know John, our friend John Turley, he's often referred to as Captain Gun Nerd.
Yeah.
He loves his guns. You gotta be careful.
I swear to you I'm gonna get through this outro. Go to facebook.com/tadpog, keep the gun out of my mouth, and come back next week, and we'll see you then. How about that?
Who's our outro song by?
Smith & Wesson, I guess.
We're sitting the show with blam, 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 blam.
And then just a tone, just a solid tone, or the sound of a mic falling over onto the... Our intro song is Moves, Tyler, since you asked. I'll be real about it.
Okay.
How about that? I'll quit joking around about blowing my head off.
But who wrote Moves, Dave?
Sycamore Drive.
Okay.
Ask me something else. I like this.
Where can a link to that track be found?
I think tadpog.com.
Okay.
In the show notes.
Yeah.
Shut it down. We're done. I'm your bespectacled host, Dave, and have you ever heard of the Angry Dragon?